Okay, so I just finished the movie The Elephant Man by David Lynch. Originally, this was going to be a reaction and review video, but I went through the footage that I had filmed, and it just wasn't entertaining enough to put into a reaction and review video, because the movie itself wasn't entertaining enough to propel me to react enough. I really didn't like this movie that much at all. It was quite slow, not necessarily a problem. I had very high expectations for it, seeing as it was a David Lynch movie. I had even higher expectations once I saw that Anthony Hopkins and John Hurt were the two main cast members. The soundtrack, first of all, I mean, that was just brilliant. The first half an hour was really great, and then it just all fell apart. I feel like possibly because David Lynch, seeing as it was his first movie, he possibly didn't know what he wanted from the actors. He possibly didn't know what sort of feeling he did want. Or, if he did know what feeling he wanted, he ended up going for the wrong one. It just didn't work, in my opinion. Now, I know that this movie gets a lot of love, a lot of people really like what David Lynch did with this movie. But, to me, it was like watching a based on a true story movie, seeing as it is based off a true story, seeing a based off a true story movie, even though you know the outcome in the end, and that can be really entertaining, seeing things like that. Movies, some examples of that are things like 127 Hours or Into the Wild, and they're both great films, both based on a true story. But the problem is, here, that the story just wasn't interesting enough to keep me watching the whole thing. I did sit through the whole thing, but it wasn't entertaining enough to keep me invested during the whole thing. It didn't move fast enough. And like I said, a slow movie isn't necessarily a bad thing. David Lynch has done it before in Lost Highway. I mean, that wasn't necessarily the fastest paced movie ever. The only thing that I really enjoyed about this movie was the writing style. It was really great. And I really have nothing else to say other than what I've said before now. Possibly the fact that the script was great, that maybe the actors actually had trouble with that or something. I don't know, maybe David Lynch had trouble directing the actors with such a great script. Or maybe he meant for it to be the way it was, but like I said, it just didn't work out for me. So I know it was a really short review today, guys. I'm sorry for that. But I'll be back tomorrow, and then the day after again, with first of all a review of David Lynch's Blue Velvet, and then the day after David Lynch's Inland Empire. After that, I'm moving on to some anime movies, which I'll be reviewing, then Sergio Leone movies, mainly westerns. I think they're all westerns, actually. Before I move through Terry Gilliam movies, some Andrei Tarkovsky movies, and some David Fincher movies. So I'll see you next time with my review of Blue Velvet, which I hope will evoke a strong enough reaction from me to make it entertaining enough to warrant a reaction and review video. By the way, my rating for The Elephant Man out of 10 is probably around 5.5 stars or 6 stars. Around about that sort of area is pretty much the right numbering, or whatever. I'm tripping over my words. So yeah, I'll see you next time.